Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, Mike's Instant Movie Review. The Beekeeper, Jason Stratham, Felicia Rashad. You might recall her from The Cosby Show. God, what's that? The lady from way back when, Minnie Driver. She used to be like the hot thing for a couple of years. I believe she was in Circle of Friends, and then the thing with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, Good Will Hunting. She was the girl. So let me turn this off. So basically, should you see this movie, should you not? Well, if you like action films, if you like, twist somebody's arm, break somebody's arm, punch somebody in the face, stab them in the chest, good guy gets shot but only in the arm type of stuff. If you like your traditional kind of 80s action film, jacked up for 2024, yeah, go see it. It's somewhat of a well-written script. It's not fucking Pulp Fiction here or something like that. It's not Gone with the Goddamned Wind. But as far as like an intelligent story to carry this action, sure, it's good. So yeah, I give it a recommend. I saw it in a nice theater, my favorite auditorium. As in one of my recent reviews, I went through the whole thing, the difference between theaters and auditoriums. Basically, auditoriums are in a theater. Theaters are not in auditoriums. At least that's the way I see it. Like in a movie sense, you have different auditoriums, which means different rooms with each auditorium has its screen, its number, a bunch of seats, and then the theater is like all the auditoriums under one roof. That's how I define it. Although I guess you could go the other way. I guess you could say you have an auditorium with different theaters in the fucking auditorium. But in any event, this was the nice auditorium that had fucking the best comfort, except one flaming fuck was in front of me a row, and he was playing with his goddamn phone. Like when I get into the theater, the previews are about to end, and this flying asshole has his phone playing solitaire. Okay, fuck. Look, I'm going to the movies by myself. You're going to the movies by yourself. But at least I'm not playing solitaire on my phone like a fuck, okay? I mean, I might do a goddamn review for 30 people later, but at least I'm not playing solitaire on my phone, for Christ's sakes. But anyway, this asshole felt the need to turn on his phone a couple of times during the movie or check it because, he's such a popular fucking guy. He's at the movie theater by himself on a Tuesday night, sitting in the second to last back row in a handicapped, friend seat, by the way, and he had no handicapped person with him. So obviously this guy has no respect for the rules. I should have twisted his fucking arm and stabbed him in the goddamn shoulder blade with a knife. But I didn't. Even though he checked his phone, I put my kerchief, my hat, on a post so that I could block out this fucking asshole on his goddamn phone. See, I've become a lot nicer in recent years. I used to be the guy that if someone was talking on their phone in the movies, I would yell at them. Or if somebody was checking their phone, I would say something. But I just realized the people are not worth it. Society is not worth fighting for anymore. So I just sit back and laugh at its decline. Anyway, so this movie, The Beekeeper, we start off strong. There's this motherly, sonly relationship between, as we discovered, just neighbors, no romance, between Felicia Rashad and Justin, his whatever his fucking name is, his character, the beekeeper, and the gimmick, so to speak, is he's formerly of the secret society, which protects the fucking hive. So what is the hive? It is the all those secret words, from George Washington through every other guy that was in the White House, like the elite of the elite. And the beekeeper's role in all of this is to be separate but defending. So we meet the former beekeeper. It's a cool concept. And I guess this movie definitely left itself open for sequels or even a prequel, because I didn't quite get the correlation. Yes, I get the metaphor between, the beekeeper keeps the hive safe, but there's like a metaphor here with the bees and with the elite, the ruling class, the government, that's not fully developed. Maybe it was when I took a facility break, like very late in the film. Maybe there was a big reveal that I missed out on the whole thing. But in any event, uh, there was a flaw in that as well, because we meet the replacement beekeeper. They've done. I've seen this in other. You've seen this too. Like when isn't there like a James Bond movie where he fights the new 007? Wasn't that like in a James Bond movie 2 or 3 ago, where he's fighting his replacement? And that's kind of a trope that we've seen in other films like this, where I'm the guy, but here's my replacement. Now I got to fight him and kill him. So we have that, except it's a her. It's like this, Mad Max scene, punk rock lady who's the new beekeeper, but she's absolutely insane. They even say that. She's crazy. She's got like the fucking machine gun. And she doesn't look like anyone that's really a protector, except she's just fucking nuts. But of course, our boy there kills her too. Felicia Rashad's kind of an interesting case, okay? Because 6 or 7 years ago, when the hammer was coming down on Mr. Jello Puddin' Pop himself, Bill Cosby, Felicia Rashad was one of the only, if not only, Hollywood celebrities to really defend this gentleman, or this non-gentleman, should I say. There was some interview where Felicia Rashad would say that all the, investigations or charges against Bill Cosby was not just because of the women. It was to destroy his legacy. And she was very kind of high and mighty and very Claire Huxtable about the whole thing. A relative of mine never liked Claire Huxtable. I'm not sure if the relative didn't like Felicia Rashad's interpretation of the character or just didn't like the character, but a relative of mine always hated Claire Huxtable, thinking she was mean. So Felicia Rashad seemed like she had drunk the fucking fruit punch a little bit when it comes to Mr. Puddin' Pop, because she was defending him. But yet, then a few years later, here she is playing the mom in the Creed movies, playing Creed's mom, the original Apollo Creed's widow. Although, if you go back to Rocky IV, at least, Apollo Creed's character had a wife in that movie when she stands up and she's throwing the towel, but that's not Felicia Rashad. That's another actress. So she got bumped, okay? Makes me think of, I was never a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air fan, but I started watching a little bit of it recently, the sitcom, the original, because I watched the spin-off, the dramatic thing with Coco Jones and Associates on Peacock or Prime or whatever the fuck. And I liked that, and I'm like, man, I guess I missed out on my childhood because I never watched the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I mean, I have a journeyman's knowledge of it, like Carlton and Hillary, but I'm like, let me go watch some of this. Really fun show, and I can see how this was like a show, I'm talking about Fresh Prince now, that was a big part of your childhood, and I missed out. So now I'm watching some episodes, and then I heard that and I did know about the actress situation, the mom being replaced, and I was curious about that because I like those inner workings of, systems and TV shows and cast members getting replaced and so forth and so on. So I watched the Fresh Prince reunion and Will's with the two moms, and basically he ruined this woman's life and her career, the original mom on the Fresh Prince, but now he gets to say he's sorry. That seems to be like Will Smith's, like as long as he says he's sorry, I'll slap you at the Oscars, I'll ruin your career for 30 years, but then I'll say I'm sorry, and I'll tear up, and the devil's making me do it, because Denzel told me. Oh my God. So anyway, getting back to the Beekeeper, Strahan, what did he get famous for? He got famous, I remember seeing him, a long time ago, 15, 20 years ago, and it was like the big thing at the time that he was in, and he was basically fornicating with the blonde chick who was like Tara Reid, do I want to say? Or was it Tara Reid, or was it a lady that I actually was in a movie with, a nice lady, trying to remember her name, another blonde. She was in like Road Trip, and she was in this one and that one. Nice lady actress. Was she the one who had this like hot and heavy fornication scene with Justin, whatever the fuck, 20 years ago or whatever. But in any event, the Whale, the Meg movies, like especially the first Meg, not so much the second one, but the first Meg movie I really liked was Strahan. I don't even know what his fucking name is. Justin, Jason, whatever. I'm getting him mixed up with the football player and Strahan. Everyone's a Strahan. It's like, where's his ham? I don't know. It's Stray. So then we go back into this thing. This movie is basically every government agency is up for grabs. You know, CIA's evil, FBI's evil, everyone's evil. It's all inner cabal. It's all inner bullshit. Everyone's a fucking asshole. They're stealing money from old people. They're funding the first, in this movie, the woman president. You know, she's basically like Meredith Baxter Birney in a fucking Lifetime movie in 1992. And she's got this son who like ran her campaign and got all the money for her to run for El Presidente, Madam President, by stealing money from old people, which everybody hates. And that's how the movie begins, because the asshole kid and his shithead company steals money from old lady, which is Felicia Rashad. And I mean, they say that, I don't. She looks pretty good, but she gets confused. And this type of shit pisses me off too, when people do steal money from the elderly. And, you know, look, I've been bamboozled and fucked a few times with scams. I'm not afraid to admit it. I think everybody wants to think positive and all that horse shit, but then you get fucked in the ass a few times and then you don't think so positive, okay? So, I mean, these scam operators, they get in your computer with their viruses, they give you an 800 number to call, and then they take all your info and they kill you, or they don't kill you, they ruin your life. So that basically happens to Felicia Rashad, and her character's answer, although, you know, it kind of seemed like she was a smart enough woman to just call for help, like her daughter works for the FBI, and she doesn't think, like, the first thing that happens is, in the movie, you know, like, she gets screwed over, right? They steal all her money. She's got a daughter that works for the FBI, and instead of calling her daughter who works for the FBI, she takes a gun and shoots herself in the head. I mean, I didn't quite, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of felt like an undeserved suicide, you know what I mean? Like, a suicide that early in the film should really be warranted, especially a gunshot to the head, especially with Claire Huxtable. And it's like, you know, it doesn't make sense, you know, because she didn't seem like yes, it would be very distressing if you just got stolen all your money. But the fact that her daughter, and she even says it, my daughter set up the whole computer. Well, if you're that close with your daughter, you could call your daughter who works for the FBI, and yes, she knows that her daughter works for the FBI, and say, sweetie, I can't believe it. I just had all my money stolen. This got, you know, these, and then daughter would, you know, come and they'd figure it out and we'd all be happy assholes. But it's a movie, so of course her instinct is to commit suicide. Okay. Then, later on in the film, there was another thing like that. Oh, yes. The daughter, you know, decent enough portrayal, decent enough actress, but the daughter character is like so FBI, you know, positive, and she's going to uphold the law, her part of it, as much as possible, to the point where upholding the law is more important than avenging her dead mother. And, furthermore, she never really grieves over her dead mother. Like, there's nothing. It's like it didn't happen, you know, or it's like a different, yeah, come on. I mean, there's absolutely no sense. There's not a teardrop. There's not a fit of rage. The daughter discovers her mother dead from suicide, and then the pieces come together that, oh, it was this horrible situation of her getting ripped off, and the daughter's just rocking and rolling. You know, yes, she's investigating, and she's looking for clues. However, we don't see one teardrop. We don't see one sad moment. it just kind of rang hollow for me. It's like, yes, I get it. It's an action film. The idea is to twist arms backwards and hyperextend body parts and punch people and all that good stuff. But, I mean, if you want to have some gravitas to this situation, to this film, you have to have a teardrop. You know, her fucking mom's dead, for Christ's sake. So anyway, I just, one of those things, folks, when you've been on the inner workings of these creative situations, and like myself, it's almost a curse to be as film intelligent as I am, because I watch these movies, I see the errors. It's a hard word to pronounce, by the way. Errors. I see the errors. I see the lack of attention to story. I see the tropes, and it upsets me, because I knew if I was in on these things, I could help and say, look, we need a daughter cries over mom scene, okay? We need an explanation why the daughter is setting up the computer for mom, before the movie begins, so there would be some intimacy, some closeness. Yet the mom does not think to call the FBI daughter when she gets scammed. She just thinks they'll blow my brains out. Okay, thanks, movie. And we don't see the daughter saying, oh my God, my mother's dead, I need to cry. We have no funeral for the mom. It's just back to work. So it all rang very hollow. Like the daughter doesn't have to call anybody to say, hey, mom got fucking suicided. Like she doesn't, it's just, I don't know. And then I guess the counterpoint would be, well, gee whiz, Mike, she goes right back to work and she finds all this fucking information and we're off and running. So yes, I get it. But even in those scenes where she's at work, she could be like really angry or really emotional or whatever the fuck. Or counterintuitive, like have some type of scene where she explains why she's, kind of like, I'll cry when there's time. Like when those bastards that made my mother kill herself are behind bars, that's when I'll cry. Some fucking line like that. Just to acknowledge the lack of normal human emotion might be nice. No offense, filmmaker. But anyway, I mean, yes, I know. I'm expecting a lot from this Beekeeper movie. But I thought it was really good. I mean, I'm probably going to give it I'm thinking I might give it 3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. And you might be wondering, well, gee whiz, Mike, your rankings here, your ratings, you give a lot of movies good star ratings. You don't really shit on too many movies. I think the lowest, once I've been putting these little star things on the fucking thumbnail, and if you don't look at the thumbnail, you have to go to YouTube. You go to One Mike Messier. If you're happening to be watching this on Facebook, why don't you do me a favor and click on the goddamn link that takes you to YouTube and push the happy subscribe button. I have all these people pestering me. Mike, did you see this movie? Did you see that movie? I've seen all the goddamn movies, and I've reviewed all of them. So if you go to fucking YouTube, One Mike Messier, and you subscribe, you'll see all my piping hot, fresh Mike Instant movie reviews. Piping hot from the oven of my mind to the belly of your soul, okay? So anyway, yes, I liked the movie. I thought it was good. I thought it's one of those, pound of fist movies. It's not as good of a pound of fist as the Maverick from last year. That would be a great movie. God, I just had a wonderful idea for a movie, and I'm not going to share it because I don't trust you assholes not to steal my idea. But I'm going to go home tonight and write the screenplay with AI, and in 20 minutes it'll be done, and then I'll sell it to Warner Brothers and be rich and fucking famous. How about that? So it's your buddy Mike Messier saying, yes, go see The Beekeeper. I hate to say it, but it felt like a little Steven Seagal-ish. Like, how Steven Seagal would have to go through treacherous waters and, twist somebody's arm backwards and all that good stuff. But I liked the movie. I thought it was good. I like these movies when only like one action guy is in it. I didn't even go see the last, whatever the fuckables, the indefensibles or the indispensables, because there's too many of them. There's too many people in those movies, too many action stars. I just like one action star per movie, okay? So that's it. So go see the movie, Madame Presidente. I guess you could make a case. This is why you don't elect a female president, okay? But that's just the movie talking, not me. One Mike Messier One Man on the Camera Films, One Pro Wrestling and Sports channel. Buy all my books. Subscribe to all my channels.